Skeeter. Thanks. I'm going to read this first one. I wrote this back in probably 93 or 94. It's older, of course. I wrote it for Onella, who is it was. She was a nurse, worked for my grandfather till he retired, worked for my father until he retired, an old black lady. And when I wrote it, I was in prison in Duluth, making $20 to $21 per month. No joke, 12 cents per hour, federal prison wages. And I wrote this and I sent it to her. And out of the blue, she sent me $25. I was rich. I had hit it. I was big time in the poetry market. I could buy all the root beer I wanted. But it's titled, it's for Onella. Come in, Flying Saucer. Do you read? Flying Saucer used to drag a cardboard box up Railroad Street. Rubber bands and tin cans, chicken bones, small smooth stones, and broken tiny teacups rattled inside. 4 or 5 cats, his true believers, his faithful, unless it was raining, followed him and squabbled over tuna fish and oil. He'd cross the tracks and wave a live oak stick, holler to some rhythm from the outer reaches, which the country western stations never play. Scour the trash cans and alley back of Schuler's 5 and dime for parts to fix his ship. Me and Willie Joe Bounds and Artie Taylor used to try and lurk up his backside, heist a piece of treasure from his box. It was dangerous. He'd move flat out with that cane, and he'd screech a hex on you in Martian that'd stick like skunk and prickly pear. I only got hit once, and that's because Artie yellow-bellied out running interference. My left ear stung a while, but the curse made me lose $11 in blackjack, a cat's eye marble, and my Green Lantern, issue number 12. The old Flying Saucer was a secret agent. We could tell about them kind of things. But he wasn't from Russia, and he wasn't no ordinary human being. He took his orders from microwave transmission beamed direct to the coat hanger and Reynolds wrap antenna that he wore around his head. He knew stuff, like how to keep all them cats fed, how to breathe without air, which cans, rocks, and bottle caps work best in 0G. Now, some of the older kids said it weren't true. Said no way would he land in Navasota. He'd have gone to Washington, D.C. or California, where they know how to treat celebrities. But maybe he just didn't give a hoot about being famous. Me, I think he wanted to get home is all. And our Piney Woods town was good as any for a pit stop. But finally, he did leave. Lifted off, I suppose, and took his business with him. Half downtown's got boarded up windows now, and he don't rant and rave down Railroad Street no more. Don't nobody bring us hoodoo talk from Mars, and the stray cats yowl at the stars behind the moon, and I wonder if he hears them or remembers that he still owes me a comic book, a marble, and another hand at blackjack. Could y'all leave your sound turned on unless you're using the blender or something?
Yeah.
Okay. I like to. It's a little more live if I can hear the
Yeah.
not just people at the bar.
Yeah. If you want, we can yell at the bartender.
Yeah. Hey. Nice doggy. Oh, this one. Okay. I checked a book out from the library randomly when I was in St. Paul, called York by a guy named Frank X. Walker. And I fell in love with his book. Checked it out over and over and over. York was the slave of Meriwether Lewis of the Lewis and Clark expedition.
Oh, yeah.
And I swear Frank X. Walker channeled him. And I read that and I read it and I read it and I wrote this and sent it to Frank X. Walker. And he wrote me back and said, thank you. And for one brief moment, I too channeled York. This is called Quits Calling Me Boy. I done shine your shoes, massa. Ain't my fault if you keep stepping in the shit. Thank you. This one is, this one. Okay, tone it down, Skeeter. I don't have a title. If anybody got a good title, let me know. My wife, when she was younger, about the year the Stones played Ed Sullivan, had her first paid employment, walking beans. That is not what you think if you're not from the fields, this neck of the woods, and don't even bother putting beans on a leash, and they won't fetch diddly. But anyway, she sent many a milkweed plant to meet its maker. So just the other night, we read out loud as the mid-April snow plonked another foot onto our garden from the last testament of Tony Hoagland concerning a pachyderm who's shoveled off to the next round, being white keys on a Steinway. As the monarch butterflies hatch and head north, having no access to the weather channel, no early warning system, or as my old friend Tom said while taking flight off a 28-foot ladder, shit, man, you never know. Like, man, when did all those generations of great speckled butterflies come up short along the food chain? Was it that time her measly paycheck 56 years ago nudged her closer to meeting me? Suffice it to say, our love is in debt to all those who came and went before us, as if they had a choice in all their radiance becoming born. How much time do you think I got?
Another one, if you want, go for it.
A couple, maybe?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do a couple. My wife likes the moon and the dark. You could see it over here. She cut her own hair just the other day. It looks great, but she doesn't think so. She don't want nobody to see her. My wife likes the moon and the darkness around it, even when it's raining, most especially in the rain, all shimmery and wet. She's booked our next vacation to a cabin on South Beach of the Sea of Tranquility during the monsoon season. We'll hold hands and kiss neath the light of the silvery earth, go for long walks in the rain, which, due to a lack of gravity this far north, falls like a feather in a mating dance, and will serenade every soul who calls the moon home, like Tommy calls Lassie. The muezzin calls every one of us to prayer. Okay. This one's a little tougher. Wrote it for my sister. 10 dead at King Supers, March 22nd, 2021. Called my sister. Hey, any of your brood in Boulder? Her youngest is, and that's where he buys groceries. Not armor, not bullets, sardines and toilet paper. And yeah, maybe some kid in that store yesterday tried to lift a Snickers bar and paid with his short life. But even if he's guilty, that still ain't fair. But then, what is in America? I held back tears while my sister let them flow, because that's what guys do in the land of the free. And my nephew was up all night calling his friends, "You all right? Are you all right, dipshit? Just answer your goddamn phone!" And my wife put on some Otis Redding, while my sister found the strength to say, "I love you, stay safe," while my nephew got a half-hour nap, while Otis been loving me too long, and my tear ducts found at last the clogged up faucet, opened it for Otis, for that kid who never got to eat his Snickers bar, for every one of us standing in the line of fire. Thank you.